Hi there, welcome to Hedera Wyckoff Technical Analysis. So, for the past 6 weeks, Hedera has the very first time come below a key support level. So, this week there is a significant move, but has it done yet? Is it over, or is it like more fluctuations are going to come? Let's dive into the charts and see what happens. Here, in the weekly chart, we see that we're still keeping this LPSY, while the up thrust we put in last week, it takes time to realize, but then the current path is still within this upward channel box, this blue box over here. So I'll keep these three tags over here. So if it really dies down, then this LPSY will be realized, and then if it doesn't, then we can take it off and move it to somewhere down the timeline. But the key thing is, currently, even though this week the price of Hedera has dropped below this yellow key level of 25 cents, the very first time since 6 weeks ago in mid-July, the price has surged to this area between the yellow key level and the green key level. As of now, if we look at the volumes, the selling volume isn't that crazy. So, and then also when looking at the candlesticks, the price change isn't that much as well. So this consolidation may be a foundation for the actual challenge to the up thrust. So it can be somewhere near the light blue key level or the sky blue key level. So that's yet to be reviewed. It may take a few weeks or even 2 to 3 months for that to realize. As of now, if the price continues to trade between this yellow dashed line as well as this yellow key level, then eventually it will come to the bottom edge of this upward channel. So I think I have already shared last time that this triangle over here, that's near the end of October, that's 20th, around 20th, the very tip. But then the breakout would happen before that, and that means we have less than 2 months time for this to further evolve. And given the current situation, there may still be a little bit of consolidation to happen, because if you look at the Bollinger Band Keltner squeeze indicator, the previous squeeze happened here. The energy has been released during the surge back in July. As of this moment, the top edge of the orange and the purple are getting closer. I know. Let me add to the list and take a look first and see whether I can observe any patterns for HBAR. Thanks for suggesting. So back to the channels here. So if the consolidation continues, that means the purple staircase line would eventually get closer to the orange. So when that happens, the weekly chart will get into a squeeze again, and that's when a bigger price swing would happen. Not that we won't have any fluctuations meanwhile. When I get to the daily chart, I'll show you why. So in summary, for weekly bigger time frame, what I shared last week remains the same. While the consolidation continues to happen, expect some fluctuations in between, but then as long as the price is still within this upward trend, for the bulls, like if you are bullish, it's not a too worrying situation. If you're bearish, maybe we need to wait a little while before things turns clearer, because the volume doesn't show us whether people are basically they're not panicking. If people are panicking, these red bars would be much higher, and there won't be these kind of crosses candles over here, because if we see long wicks both sides, that means there are quite a supportive force from bulls and the bears that squeeze the price to the middle. So let's get to the daily chart and see what it's telling us. So here, previously we put in all these tags with question mark, and the sign of weakness has been realized, and there are actually two of them happened over just the past week, and then obviously there was an LPSY. So that's why I always say in the daily chart, if I do these sessions weekly, it's like a catch-up game. Even I put in two more tags, then maybe one more stage that has already happened. The importance here, however, is not what stages the Wyckoff is in, because if it really comes down for an accumulation in the weekly chart, so if the price comes down to this orange key level, this over here, that's around, let's have a quick look, 21 cents. So if the price really comes down in daily and get back to accumulation around this level, in the weekly, it's still within the upward channel box, so that's the key thing. So if the price really comes to this point and start to quickly accumulate and then goes up to the upwards of the distribution, that's one possibility. So expect that, don't be surprised that this fluctuation happens, that it comes below the sign of weaknesses. This key, I won't say key level, this is like a intermediate support, this dashed line that we have multiple reference points during this distribution cycle in the daily time frame. So one more thing I want to add is, if you are into candlestick pattern analysis, if I draw a line, you'll quickly see that we're having a descending triangle over here. So what I'm talking about is this particular triangle. So according to the textbook theory of candlesticks, a descending triangle is a bearish sign. So that adds to the point that I just shared. The price may come down to test the key level of the orange and maybe even the bottom edge of the channel box. So when that happens, that's the real test that Hedera is going to go through. And if it successfully defends this and gain sufficient rocket fuel, that would eventually comes up to test the green level as well as the light blue. So as of now, it's getting closer and closer to the tip of this triangle. So if I remove this highlighter marker, this is around September 10th. So meaning in less than 2 weeks time, the price is getting into this corner and it has to break out. So either it has to break outside of this lower highs trend, or it has to come below the yellow dashed line to challenge the orange key level as well as the bottom edge of the upward channel box. So that's where the real test is coming. So be patient. I know we have to wait for maybe a few more days or even 10 days, but then it is getting closer and closer. So if I really zoom in and adjust this line just to make sure, yeah, it's not touching the peak, because this is getting a little bit outside of the downward, the lower peak line, basically this resistance line, this declining slope. So after adjustment is September 12th, meaning about just over 2 weeks time. Then we'll see excuse me, we'll see what happens. But we're getting really close. So that's all I want to share for Hedera today. So the big picture, still not too negative, but in the short term, when we look at the daily time frame, the squeeze, not the squeeze, I mean the triangle is cornering the price. So be careful what's going to come in the next 2 weeks before the bigger move happens.